Well, we got another clean and service video. This time a Lasko Cool Colors box fan. This is my aunt and uncle's box fan. I decided to bring it down for a service. This has got the older style motor in it. Which I think are pretty good. It's kind of dirty in there, so we're going to clean that out. It does work just fine, but it does sound like it does need some lubrication. I'll turn on the other external mic so we can hear it. I'm liking these external mics. As well. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the screws in the back. Let's see, this span time is good, but I'm going to oil it. So we're going to remove these 6 screws. Oops. Oops. It's got some hours on it. This used to be used on the garage freezer for a while. I do have one. Now, I do have a blue one myself. From 2019 to 2020. Here's the back. So now this has got a zip tie on here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut it off and I'll have to remember to put it back. Let's see if we can take a picture of where it goes. Okay, got a picture. That was fantastic. Oh, look at what my uncle did to hold the feet in place. See this all notches? He put those there so the fan's feet wouldn't come off. That's actually pretty smart. What I'm going to do before we go any further is we're going to blow the motor out with compressed air.
put water in that?
No, it's compressed air.
Principle.
I'm going to remove the screws at the back. For a 10-year-old fan, it looks like it's in good shape still. Kind of like my Lasko B20308. All right. So I don't know if I really want to remove this switch, but to turn. Got it. I'm going to take this off. So here is all right. There's one more thing I want to do. That's I want to take this off so that we can so that I can wash it. The motor mount. Sorry, not the motor. All right. And you can see this motor is a pretty good size. All right. I'm gonna wash the parts and then we'll come back and work on the motor. All right, we're gonna start with the little parts. This has got a bigger motor mount than the ones than the ones that they use now do. Alright, take 2. I'm still on the lookout for one of these fans for my collection with the older style motor like this. Alright, let's see if we can get through this. Alright. I also want to clean this fan up because I use this fan down there sometimes. Mine probably needs it as well. Maybe we'll do that one eventually. And since that's mine, since that one's mine, I'll just service it whenever I get around to it. All right.
Kids a year. I just really don't know about her. You can't depend on her to do anything. Now, let's call it. Not much, y'all. She's going in to have
Actually have a little nostalgia to this fan. I remember buying this fan brand new with my aunt to use on my uncle's freezer, and I remember this fan pretty dang well. So it's just kind of a childhood fan to me. Maybe I'll tell my aunt and uncle if they plan on getting rid of it that I would take this. It's a good fan. I remember it pretty well. Fan it clean. This is my way of getting the water out. Here's the frame. Oops. Blue. Something tells me after cleaning this, that's when I'll want to work on mine. That's alright. This fan's in pretty good shape. It's got a... Oh, this is kind of neat. There's a manufacturing defect. Hold on. Hold on. I'll wash this off and I'll take this off the tripod here. See? There is a manufacturing. This is not going to pick up, is it? See right there? There's a little like hole knockout there. You can't see it because it won't focus. Hold on. Let's try it now. There we go. See how there's a... See how this has got a hole there and there's a piece of metal there covering this hole? I think there's a manufacturing defect that happened there. And I don't think I ever noticed that. See, because if you look on the other side here, both holes are open. So there must have been a manufacturing defect on there. That's all I wanted to show. Nothing crazy. Can I bring a magic clean eraser out here? Yeah, I didn't grab one. Whatever. I tell you what, I think I like this blue better than the, I like this blue better than mine. I think the older blue looks better than the light blue. This one's from 2015 to 16. Just like the Lasko B20308 one. It reused the older style motor, which is kind of cool, instead of the 8-pole one. I wonder why the Cool Colors ones use the older style motor, and then the white one just used the regular 8-pole motor. Okay, all the parts are drying. So I'm going to let these dry and then we'll work on the motor. Alright, now we're going to work on the motor. So I'm going to clean the cord off. I don't usually bother cleaning the cord off because no one really cares about it, and I personally don't. I'm gonna brush the switch off, and then what I do is I like to look to see if there's any rust on the shaft, and it actually looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and dismantle it. .0 microfarads capacitor. I forgot some oil. Let me go get some. Alright, got some oil. Non-detergent. So I thought I had to sneeze, that's why I paused it. Perfect, came off with 0 resistance. And you can see this has got some wear on the shaft. So we'll clean that up. I'm gonna get the dust out of here. Hold on, let me go get another brush. All right. And looking at the back, it looks like it's more dry, so leave that on there for a minute. Ooh. Put that up there so we don't. The front looks pretty good, but I'm gonna clean out the bearings because they look pretty darn dirty. And this works out great. Well, I have this down here, we can go ahead and service it better. Okay, I'll bring the rest of the motor back. I don't use that brush. The tires look good. That's good. I'm glad the tires look okay. I've had those. Should have got a better brush. Let's see if we can blow some of this out with compressed air. And as far as loose wires go, this actually is pretty good. That's rare. I like these motors. They look decent. They look nice, and it also seems powerful. Seems like a powerful fan. And it'll work pretty good once it's clean and oiled. So it'll look pretty darn good. Okay. There is some serious dust in there. What in the world? Alright, I'm going to clean out the bearings. Yeah, the back one looks pretty dirty. It's pretty darn caked with dust in here. It's like stuck on. Alright, that looks pretty clean. Now for the thrust washers. Start with these ones. I really don't want to mix these up because actually they look pretty clean. Alright. I don't want to mix these up, so. Oh, there's only so that's it. No, let's not lose though. All right. Okay, so I did some work to this. I polished up the rotor, and I'm about to oil the bearing. I'm going to put a drop of oil in here, in the back bearing. There was a couple loose unvarnished windings. Just drop my zoom spat on the ground. Dang it. I'm going to be careful when you this one's about out. Gosh. Making a mess, total mess inside this motor. I am making a total mess inside this motor. Trying to oil this. Got it. And this front one looks alright, but and the front one looks wet, so I'm not going to add oil to it. So, I put all the spacers back on, so. I'm going to put oil in between all of them. I'm going to wipe off any excess that could drip onto the motor and wipe off any excess, because you don't want that excess oil on there, because it could fling because it gets everywhere. Okay, I'm going to put a drop of oil in here. And I'm going to put a little bit on the shaft. Whoa. And since this is an open, you'll notice that there's an air pocket in there. Oh yeah, look at that. Put some oil in here. it's not. There. There's a nick on the shaft well. We'll sand that down before. I'll just take that fine piece of sandpaper and sand it. Oh! You don't have to go very tight. Okay. What's probably going to happen is that you may find that the shaft is hard to... It's not too bad right now. But if it was locked up, this is how you fix it. These are self-aligning bearings. And doing this two or three times just gets them back into an alignment. Look at that. Spinning great. Plug it in and give it a test. Nice. But now what I want to do is where I accidentally nicked up the shaft, I'm gonna get some fine piece of sandpaper. And sand that spot down for the next time for the next time. Alright, I'm going to put some stuff away and then we'll come back out here and put it back together. Alright, now we're going to put the motor mount back on. I'm going to tighten this by hand because it's going into plastic. Okay.
What? Jimbo?
Okay, so how you put this handle in is you lock it in like this. There's a tab that goes in there. There's a tab that goes in there, and you gotta line it up like this, and then you push the other one in. And then you click it in, and there it is. Alright. Now we will screw this back on here. And then we will mount this. So. Here, let me get it screwed in, and then we'll see if the camera's in the frame. Alright, so what I like to do is I like to put 2 of the screws in here. Okay, so you'll see, so I have 2, so it's holding with 2 screws right now, and I'm going to start the other ones in and tighten them all up. Okay, so then to put the switch in, you're going to put it in like this. And you turn it, you put it in, and then you got to turn it like this. And you'll hear it kind of click in, and then that's how you'll know that it's in place. This will kind of... And this cord kind of sticks in like this. There's a glue there that this kind of goes in. And then you put that in. And then there's a notch for the strain relief to go in. See that little notch right there? This strain relief goes in here. kind of go in like this. And then this just kind of goes in like that. Press that all down because the actually, I think this was sitting over here. Even though I don't think it really matters, but press that down. The knob just goes on here like this. We're not lean it back with those feet. But the knob goes on like this. Okay. We'll stick these back in and put the back grill back on. Okay. So I got the back grill. So it just sits on there like that, and then these screws will go in. And these are only going into sheet metal, so you don't want to over tighten those because they'll strip. So far, so good. Okay. That's back on. Looks great. Motor spins nice and free. Check it out again and make sure it still works. Yep. And you can see, look at that spin down. Look at that, that's nice. Oh. Alright, let's get the blade put back on and then we'll complete it. Alright, I got the blade, and so that flat side on the nut on the shaft, you want to align this flat spot up. There's a flat spot in the blade. I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see it, but there's a flat spot on the blade, and you want to align that up with the notch on the shaft. So, okay. And it's spinning nice. And then here's the front grille. that one's stripped. Go figure. Well, I might be able to put a new screw in it. Let's try it in a new hole. I'll move it down here. Okay. There. It held. That's good. It's not rubbing. It's kind of. All right. So let's plug it in. And it's going. All right. Let me turn this other microphone on. Okay, here's a medium. And high. Check out the spin down. Not bad.